Alright, setting up the Crystal River fly rod. So setting up the Crystal River fly rod. So here's the fly, well, no, not this. Um, so this is the reel. I purchased this separately. 20 pound, 15 yards white. And then this is the backing line. This is the strike deflector or indicator I purchased separately. I also purchased this separately, which is the 5 times leader freshwater tippet. And this one, Scientific Angler 7.5 feet, 5 times leader. I think this one came with the unit. Here's something too, which is the 4 times leaders. So there's the 5 times leaders and the 4 times leaders. And this I purchased separately as well, which is the 4 times leader. This is the fly line backing. That came with the Crystal River rod. 20 pounds, 50 yards. So this is dry fly dressing. Can't remember why I bought this one now. Stupid. Anyway, so this is the fly rod, and this is the backing. Where's the backing I bought? Oh, these are the backings. 20 pounds. Twain line. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what's the difference. So this is the fly line backing, and this is the toy line. They're both 20 pounds. I'm not sure why I have so many. Anyway. Okay, this is the Crystal River Executive fly fishing pack, executive travel pack. It's an 8 feet long and 8 sections fly fishing rod. I'm not gonna put the rod together until I go fishing, but anyhow, I'm going to put this 50 yards Dacron Crystal River backing onto this fly wheel, okay? And as you can see, this is how it's going to go. And I'm going to use my right hand to hold on to the reel and the fishing rod going this way. So that's how I'm going to handle this fly rod. So I'm going to crank forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this backing 50 yards of it into this reel, and then and just like that, okay, loop it through. Now I'm just gonna tie this, use the tag line, wrap this around a couple times, 3-4 times. And then I'm gonna cinch it down, and then I'm gonna cut it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be plenty. And go through these, have the tag line go through these loops. Okay? And the next thing I do is I just pull on the tag line to secure it. And then I pull this main line in to secure this thing. And then wait, before we do that, we want to cut it off here, so because once it gets into the center of the reel, you can't do anything. You can't cut the tech line. So let's cut it off here. Ah gosh, this scissor is not as sharp. Here we go. Finally. Alright, so what you do next is we're gonna pull the main line and then have this thing cinched all the way down to there. There you have it. So we're gonna start cranking the line in, as you can see here. So I am reeling the backing line into here. And this is the Dacron fly line backing, 20 pounds, 50 yards. So once I install the backing, I am going to tie this 50 yards backing line to this floating line. It's a forward 5, number 5 forward floating line. Okay, the line that came with the fly rod, it's actually a sinking line, so we're not going to use that. This is something I bought separately. Once I have the backing line tied to this white color floating forward number 5 line, fly line, I'm going to have the fly line tied to this Scientific Anglers trout tapered leader, 7.5 feet long. Tapered means the one end is thick, the other end is small. Just like this fly line. This fly line, this end is actually thick, and by the diameter is larger than the other end. The other end is the thinner end. So this end you tie to the reel of the backing line. Okay, backing line, fly line, backing line, the orange color, tied to this end of the floating flight line forward number 5. And then the other end I'll tie to this 7.5 feet long tapered leader. And this thing is the same. It actually goes from a thicker diameter end to the thinner diameter end. And at that end, I'm going to tie, at that point, I'm going to tie to my flies. But before I tie to my flies, I'm actually going to use about 3 feet long tippet. The purpose of the tippet is every time you change your fly, the tippet, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit, a couple inches. Tie the fly. So by the time you finish your day of fishing, you may run out of the 3 feet tippet. And if the water is rough, you want to use longer tippet, maybe 4 feet. Some people use just 1 feet, 12 inches or 18 inches, because they don't need to change their flies. They just use one fly and then they can fish all the fish. But I'm going to fish for coil and carp, and I actually have quite a few carps I have to try, because this is the first time I'm going to do fly fishing. I haven't done fly fishing for a long time. I actually have another fly fishing rod from Cabela's, but and I was able to catch crappies, bass quite a few years ago, probably over 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and haven't used it since I you know, fly fishing is just not as efficient as the spin rod or casting rod fishing. And fly fishing tend to be like those, you know, the national parks or the mountain rivers, and you know, you got to hike to those places, and it's not an easy, you know, place to go. But you know, it does have its fun. So I know 4 Mile Run I saw some coil fish. So that's why I'm setting this up so I can go coil fishing and carp fishing at the 4 Mile Run. Okay, so anyway, so let me continue to string this backing, and we'll be back when everything is finished.